What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
We've got hurricane grifters, baby.
And we feel betrayed. We were raised to
Multiple hurricane grifters.
wake
We'll stop that there. But here we go. This cannot be a real quote from Trump. I need the kind of generals that Hitler had. That's not a real, that can't be real, right? Man. Roll the intro.
Hey daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, welcome, everyone. I'm Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. How's everybody going? I was reading a quote of 5 months. McCarthy, leadership fatherhood, press conference. McCarthy said, enforce us critical look at our systems and policies. According to a person close to Trump at the time, the president was agitated by McCarthy's comments and raised a question about the severity of the punishment dispensed to senior officers and non-commissioned officers. An Oval Office meeting on December 4th, 2020. Officials gathered to discuss a separate national security issue. Toward the end of the discussion, Trump asked for an update on the McCarthy investigation. Christopher Miller, the acting Secretary of Defense, Trump had fired his predecessor, Mark Esper, 3 weeks earlier. Writing in a tweet, Mark Esper has been terminated, was in attendance, along with Miller's chief of staff, Kash Patel. At a certain point, according to the 2 people present at the meeting, Trump asked, did they bill us for the funeral? What did it cost? According to the attendees and to contemporaneous notes of the meeting taking by a participant, an aide answered, yes, we received a bill. The funeral cost $60,000. Trump became angry. It doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a fucking Mexican. Wow. He turned to his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and issued an order. Don't pay it. Later that day, he was still agitated. Can you believe it? He said, according to a witness, fucking people trying to rip me off. The family attorney told me she sent the bill to the White House, but no money was ever received from the family from Trump. This is a soldier that was like bludgeoned to death. I don't know. There's a thing in the background. And Trump offered to pay for the funeral costs until he saw how expensive it was. No money was ever received by the family from Trump. Some of the costs, the attorney said, were covered by the Army, which offered, she said, to allow Gullion to be buried at Arlington National Cemetery, and some were covered by donations. Ultimately, Gullion was buried in Houston. Shortly after I emailed a series of questions to Trump spokesman Alex Pfeiffer, I received an email from Kwame, which is the attorney, who asked me to publish a statement from Myra Gullion, Vanessa's sister. Pfeiffer then emailed me the same statement. I'm beyond grateful for all the support President Donald Trump showed our family during this trying time. The statement reads, I witnessed firsthand how Trump honors our nation's heroes' service. We are grateful for everything he has done and continue to do so to support our troops. Pfeiffer told me that he did not write the statement and emailed me a series of denials regarding Trump's fucking Mexican comment. Pfeiffer wrote, President Trump had never said that. This is an outrageous lie from The Atlantic 2 weeks before the election. He provided statements from Patel, a spokesman for Meadows, who denied having heard make the statement via Pfeiffer. Meadows' spokesman also denied that Trump had ordered Meadows not to pay for the funeral. The statements from Patel and that Pfeiffer sent me said, as someone who was present in the room with President Trump, he strongly urged that specialist Vanessa Gullion's grieving family should not have to bear the cost of any funeral arrangements, even offering to personally pay himself in order to honor her life and sacrifice. In addition, President Trump was able to have the Department of Defense designate her death as occurring in the line of duty, which gave her full military honors and provided her family access to benefits, services, and complete funeral financial assistance. Damn. Trump has frequently voiced his disdain for those who serve in the military as his presidency drew to a close. Okay, here's the quote. As his presidency drew to a close, former generals who have worked for Trump say that the sole military virtue he prizes is obedience. As his presidency drew to a close, and in the years since, he has become more and more interested in the advantages of dictatorship. and the absolute control over the military that he believes it would deliver. Quote, I need the kind of generals that Hitler had, Trump said in a private conversation in the White House, according to two people so it's according to witnesses who heard him say this. People who were totally loyal to him, that follow orders. This is absolutely false, Pfeiffer wrote in an email. President Trump never said this either. So, conflicting stories. That sounds like a fucking wild quote, dude. I need the Hitler generals? Jesus Christ. Anyways. What's happening? What's up? This was all a story from the Atlantic. It actually came out in 2020. I just saw a link to it. And it was from the family, or I guess the Atlantic was talking about the Vanessa Gullion. She was a 20-year-old Army private, and she was bludgeoned to death by another soldier down at Fort Hood. It was a really tragic story, but it's been a few years back. Her remains were discovered like months later, I think, near a river on Fort Hood or somewhere in there. Pretty crazy. But I guess Trump offered to pay, then didn't pay, then I don't know. Whatever. Hurricane grifters. That's what we're talking about. What are you guys doing? What's up? I can't do a super long show tonight. I have to ride in on my one wheel, so in the dark with a headlamp. It's not the easiest thing to do, but I figured it was worth streaming, so we're here. Anyways. We have multiple hoodies. Uh-oh. Well, that's kind of shitty. First day back, and you're just going to do this? That's kind of shitty. Just be honest with you. No, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. I am an asshole a lot of times. And apparently, I'm a threatening type of person that you have to guard yourself from with a shotgun at times and escape from the camera. So we talked about this guy, Ken. Tomorrow, I'm going to take pictures of his camper and the water line to prove that he wasn't in any storm damage. He just wasn't. That's a fact, right? There was no storm damage. There was no flood, no nothing. But since then, this man has received quite a few donations. Let me see if I can find this. Give me just a second to look it up. So he's went full grifter. We'll look at his page first. So this is the guy that when he was told he couldn't squat at a cabin, he got super upset and then claimed that there was a plot to steal his generator, the generator that I brought in and put together for him, all that shit. So that's this guy. And we already talked about this once. So he's got a bunch of posts about taking pictures or whatever and whatever here. Good afternoon, everyone. I sent this Unicorn County Commissioner about the tiny houses on Messenger. Hopefully they can allocate such properties to hurricane victims. So he's trying to get a free tiny house. Again, the only thing wrong with his camper is he had a very small leak for about 6 months ever since he moved in, right? He's been talking about this very small leak that was above a marker light on his camper that he refused to fit. Well, he wanted somebody just to do it for him. He's the type of guy that he won't come out and say, hey, will you fix this leak? But he'll kind of repeatedly like mention it and bring it up. I can't fix it. I wish I could fix it. I tried to fix it, until you're like finally like, fuck it, I'll do it. That kind of deal, right? He is I know Ken personally, and will agree he's a lying scumbag that acts like he's scared of the world. He has played victim his whole life. Oh, wow. I didn't know that you knew him personally, but he's a piece of shit. All right, so he had this leak, and I was like, dude, I'm busy. I can't help you fix it. But they sell stuff at Tractor Supply that you can fix it. And then he got another guy that was at the campground to try to fix it, and he claimed it didn't work, whatever. He's also claimed he's been poisoned multiple times. He's like super paranoid. He went into this weird, I wonder if I can find that. He went into this weird survival mode where he had like these survival books, and he was like hoarding food and shit. And the reason he moved from one cabin to another cabin was so he'd have a better view if anybody broke in. The shit he was doing was really, really, really weird.
Michaela Robertson 81 gifted Country Boy 753 a subscription. Michaela Robertson 81.
Thank you for the gifted sub.
One sub to Country Boy 753. They have given 46 gift subs in the channel.
He went into this really, really weird like mentality of like hoarding and survival. He makes these posts like, I started getting to the high ground and I grabbed some trash bags in case we needed to build shelters. And behind the scenes, everybody was kind of like laughing at him. He had these survival books. He was out reading every night. Like, we're a couple miles from town, dude. Like, worst case scenario, we're not going to have to fucking eat the dead bodies. We'll just walk to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? But he had this weird mentality going. Oh.
It tells you laws and orders, because we're a nation of law and order. Oh, all of a sudden, oh man, this guy, look at this guy. Oh, and look at him, he's all upset today. Not upset. Shoot,
Sleep like a
I
baby.
sleep like a baby every night.
That's right. So he made all these, it was really weird. He started drinking pretty heavily. That's what everybody there was doing. They had that little gun battle where they were just shooting off in the air in the middle of a fucking national emergency, or in the middle of a natural disaster, in an emergency situation. They're just shooting guns and shit. Very weird. He went into this weird survival mode. It was just all really strange. He threatened to kill me. He made posts about holding the gun and shaking and his dog, and there's just a whole lot of stuff that's happened since then, okay? So he's put this post, again, stormwater, the flood, never reached his camper. It just didn't get there. It wasn't that far, okay? Here he is hoarding supplies and donations again. Somebody's taking up donations for him. We're going to get to that post in a second. Let's scroll down to some of this. So I made the tiny house post yesterday and didn't think I'd be able to come up with a piece of land. So very happy, blah, blah, blah. So he's trying to get a free tiny house. That fell through. I guess our city limits don't allow tiny homes, tiny houses or whatever. They have to be in a special allocated area for like campers and tiny homes. I don't know what he had going on. It's just weird. The stuff he had is going on. He did take a lot of pictures, and he's got a following. So I guess he likes to hike and take pictures, and a lot of people that are into hiking or waterfalls or whatever, they follow him. But this whole thing, here it is. So here's one. Betsy, which is what he calls his Jeep, I guess, escaping from the hurricane-ravaged Nolichucky Gorge through Chestoa. And this is Chestoa and my friend's ATV who came to rescue me. Though it's cleared up some when we escaped, there was a path cut with a dozer in the beginning through a 30-foot wall of downs on each side. Though many of the rare hemlock survived, many have not. The hemlock are decimated by the pine beetle, if I remember correctly. In many forests, you'll see traps and info on this. So again, his daring escape. Here's where he paid rent. It's already been refunded. Like this rent, he paid rent early. Most people don't. We all pay rent by the 5th of the month. So for some reason, he paid October during September. He paid it by a check to someone that was working in the office. And even though that check was lost to the storm, so he technically didn't pay rent, it was in a safe that floated away. She still refunded it just to be done with it. It was already refunded at the time he made this post, but of course that's how he paid rent apparently almost a month early. Which seems weird, but whatever. He's telling a story. This is the cold steel trench shovel. My friend chopped the cover off a heavy lockbox, but failed to break it. But the box's hinge wasn't hardened steel and gave away several chops. I swear, I think he thinks he's living in like some type of action movie. He also says these are the scrapes from the train trestle, where it says damage from escaping Nolichucky Gorge disaster on the railroad train trestle. The tire was half off the concrete slab. This is on the wrong side. If this was true, okay, this is the wrong side. This is the passenger side, or I'm sorry, this is the driver's side. This is the driver's side fairing, and this would have been on the damage would have had been on the passenger side. I don't know what he hit, but there you go. He's looking for a trailer to rent because the person he was staying with already threw him out. Here's where he was making hoarding supplies posts. Like, look at this. Why is he hoarding all these supplies in his cabin? We had a communal area where all the supplies were. And if you went down there, you could take anything you want. So we weren't keeping anything for anybody. We just put it all in one location. and then you could go take and get whatever you want. There wasn't a charge for it. It was just all together. But he has to hoard his own supplies and then take pictures of it and talk about how he had to gather it with his arthritic hands, and it's so weird. He shows this. He says the missing road under the trestle was just have some dirt by the time I left. Yeah, I built a ramp in and out of this. Like, we've taken sedans out. I took an F-350 in and out, like, to get fuel to a tractor. Like, he shows this, but this isn't what it was like. And I'm the one who built that ramp. The guy he accuses of doing nothing for him and trying to steal from him and shit. Also, I'm the guy who removed this pole. I wonder why he didn't have that in the post. I'm the guy who cut this pole down and opened the road. Kind of weird. But in the most recent post, what pissed me off the most, we'll talk about this as well. In the most recent little giveaway thing, what pissed me off the most is this bitch has believed his story and given him a fifth wheel camper, which is crazy. But listen to how she tells the story. The thing that pissed me off the most is I've made over 200 trips, probably more than that now. I figured this up the other day using my One Wheel app that like logs the miles and stuff, plus the trips that I walked in. She puts in this post that he was trapped up there without food and water and no one to bring supplies in. The day we escaped, I was back at 8 a.m. the next morning hiking shit in, right? We escaped through the Appalachian Trail because I didn't want my kids there. We could have stayed. We were safe. We could have stayed the night in a cabin, but I didn't like, my kids were upset. I didn't want them to see their camper floating away, right? That's their home. They were upset. I wanted some normalcy in their life, so I hiked them out of there, right? I figured it was better for them to get somewhere where they could be normal, have a normal routine than it was to live through this. I know how traumatizing that could be. So I figured, a quick hike on the Appalachian Trail, not as bad as sitting here and watching everything that you own float away. Got them out of there. The next morning at 8 a.m., I was back with food, cases of water, and gas jugs for the generator, right? I hiked back in over trees. Mariah went with me. Over trees, carrying jugs of fuel, carrying everything. No one will because the road wasn't cleared. And then when I got in there, I called some people and said, hey, I'm in here. I got a chainsaw. I'm going to start cutting my way out. Can you cut your way in? And had the road open by the end of that day. By the end of that fucking day, I had the road open, all the trees cut. I bet you we cut, 80 trees in and out. I didn't cut them all. I cut on the way out, and somebody met me cut on the way in. About 10 people met me cut on the way in. I made it about a quarter of the way out. They made it about 3/4 of the way in, and we met. But like to say that you were trapped, what? Just listen to this post. So here's where it starts. Please forgive my typos. I'm tired. Laugh out loud. Okay, y'all. Hubby Harold Shipley and I are the owners of Hillbilly Towing. We have about a 40-foot camper that we bought and have had in our Hillbilly Towing lot for about 12 years now, unused, that we want to donate to someone in the flood disaster areas. It is a fifth wheel attachment. Here's the deal. It needs some repairs. It needs to be serviced and cleaned inside and out first. It's in excellent condition, except for a few things. It needs a battery, blah, blah. So they decided they want to give this fifth wheel camper away, right? It's set on their lot for 12 years. They want to clean it up, fix it up, replace the appliances, put batteries in it, and give it away. It needs a mattress. It needs some different things. Okay, very kind of them. So now all the people that believe Ken's bullshit story about how he had to escape with a shotgun because I was threatening him and tried to steal his generator. Yeah, exactly. His camper was also bought just due to no. Yes, I heard from his family member that the reason he's in a camper is he tried to live with them twice, and both times he accused them of stealing from him and trying to poison him and shit. Anyways, so a bunch of people believe Ken's story and they nominate Ken. So here's the post, which pissed me off. Please share. We need help from Kenneth Woody's friends, our community and business, for our flood survivor, Kenneth Woody. Flood survivor that he wasn't in. Like the most he suffered to this whole thing was that the road was out, right? My camper floated across half the campground. Jasmine, a person that lives there in an apartment, lost her whole fucking house and all the belongings in it because she wasn't there. She had friends run in there and try to grab sentimental shit, but she lost everything, right? Rob, the guy that lives above the office, he didn't lose a whole lot, but his, the office is gutted now and he lives on the second story. It's not safe for him to be in his apartment. Everything's trapped there, right? Ken just couldn't use the road for a few days. Anyways, our flood survivor, whom we will be giving the fifth wheel camper with 4 slide outs and all appliances to. Please read. Over 14 people vouched for Kenneth on needing the camper we are donating to a flood victim. We chose him. Now listen to how they describe this grifting piece of shit. We chose him. He legit survived the floodwaters on the Nolichucky River Gorge, rapids, rising water gushing into his camper park, washing his and all the other campers away. His camper is still there, undamaged. But not only that, they're saying washing his and all the other campers away. Mine was the only occupied camper. I don't want to say the only camper, because there was an RV there that's used seasonally, but is parked there year round. And that RV it washed all the way out of its spot, ripped all of its connections loose, and went across the campground. But it was just empty, right? Those people only use it sparingly and then basically store it there when they're not using it. Anyways, I was the only occupied camper that got washed away. A whole apartment got washed away, and then basically the first floor, which is of the apartment above it, got washed away. That was their office, got washed away. And a bunch of empty cabins. If anybody's lost anything, it's the campground owner. She's lost the most, right? She lost all the cabins, all the work we put in, picnic tables, 40 foot of riverfront. She's lost quite a bit. Anyways, he survived with only the clothes on his back, along with his dog Scooter, and several people, but were left stranded without food and water as no one could rescue them. Since day one, I've done nothing but go in and out of there, bringing in supplies. Hell, I've been bringing in burgers and shit from the local restaurant for everybody. Like, what the fuck are you? No food, no water, only the clothes on his back? His camper is still intact. He would go down there several times a day and hang out in it with all his belongings. Like, besides Jasmine lost her whole house. That's the apartment that was with the bathhouse. Besides Jasmine, absolutely, me and Mariah lost the most. Everything in our understorage, our electrical, all of our gas line was ripped out. So to get the heat and the water heater and shit working, I had to replace all that. Everything underneath was washed out. Our batteries are fucking washed and shorted out. They're gone. Half the electrical panel is fucking shorted out. It doesn't fucking work. Like, the water never even reached him. I don't know. It's so crazy. Anyways, back to it. He survived with only clothes on his back, along with his dog Scooter, and several people were left stranded without food and water as no one could rescue them. They had to wait till the water receded. He lost his home and everything. Where was that pig? In the cabin that he was allowed to stay in until the water went back down. So the whole fight took place because the owner's like, hey, we don't know what the power situation and stuff is. Like, we don't have a way to heat that cabin safely. When the water recedes, since the water's receded, you can move back to your camper whenever. And he's like, I heard I could stay here all winter. And she's like, no, you can't stay here. We don't have a way to heat it. And then he flipped out and said, you're trying to steal my generator and people are threatening me and I'm disabled. You can't do that to me. He took it he took that picture in there in the cabin. It's weird that he has all these pictures. He's a photographer. He takes all these pictures. He doesn't have a single picture of his damaged camper. I've got pictures of my camper floating. Why doesn't he have a picture of his damaged camper? Because it was undamaged. They had to wait till the water receded. He lost his home, everything. He used to work as a manager at a grocery store for many years before becoming disabled retired. He now lives on a monthly check, and we need to help him now that we have a home for him. The fifth wheel camper. Please keep reading. He needs a camper or RV park that he can afford to put his camper. Areas being Kingsport, Southwest Virginia, Bristol, Churchill, Tri-Cities area, etc., etc. We need help finding a place that can accommodate a 40-foot camper. Can you all please help? Needs to have water and sewer hookup. Text me. His budget is under $600. We still have 12 voltage battery for the camper. We need someone to pressure wash the side of it, one side of it. We may have someone. We need to get it somewhere to be looked over and make sure the attachments to everything inside is working fine. We may have someone to haul it, but I'm sure that's not going to be an issue. We do have someone who thinks he can. He needs essentials such as blankets, kitchen stuff, sheets, towels. All this stuff is fine and in his camper. Again, his camper was undamaged, including a queen-size mattress and basic necessities. He desperately needs a mattress. I bought my daughter a mattress king-size that I bought last year from Walmart, and it's great quality, so I picked one out for him and added it to the Walmart registry. Also, there's a ceiling fan in there for $45. A ceiling fan in the camper. All the blades have like melted, bowed down from years of heat, and it needs to be replaced. When someone buys an item, by the way, a regular ceiling fan from Walmart is not going to work in a 12-volt camper. The ceiling fan has to be different in a camper. Also, there's a ceiling fan, blah, blah, blah. When someone buys an item, it will be shipped to us, and this makes sure that there's no double bought items. We will take his donations when we haul the camper to his new home. Here's the link, Help Ken Flood Survivor, and it's a Walmart registry. I chose the basics at the cheapest prices. I figured this way would be more convenient since I'm sick every day from a brain illness and my hubby having heart issues plus running our towing business, as it would be hard to meet people to pick up donations. I hope this is okay. If y'all prefer to donate in person or if it makes you type in our address, just contact me. My info below. I'm sure he will need food and dog food. I didn't add any food items. If you'd like to purchase and deliver or drop off, text me for address. Also, I did add a 32-inch smart TV for $88, but that will be up to y'all if y'all want to purchase that for him. I figured he deserves that, and surely his new camper spot will have Wi-Fi. Also, if everything has been bought in the registry, you can order Walmart gift cards for him to buy food and other items. I may have... Again, this guy didn't lose anything. And they're setting all this up. You don't see me and Mariah on fucking social media whining about all the shit we lost and fucking begging for money and shit. This guy didn't lose anything. We give you our word. He will get everything that is donated or bought. Please pray we get the minor repairs and everything done ASAP. We have Justin Starnes, of whom his company is doing the repairs. Then we need to clean it. My friend Teresa bought 2 propane tanks to donate. I would like to get all this done, including his donations needed from Walmart registry within 2 weeks. It's getting cold, and we need to get Kenneth and Scooter settled in his new camper ASAP. If you have any suggestions about someone who could check everything out in this camper, like the hoses of water and sewer attachments, please message me or text me. Also, if you can pressure wash, donate a battery, please contact me by text because I'm always answering and dispatching. Love you. Thank you. God bless. And they name themselves and the towing company. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And then anybody who is like, hey, it's weird that his camper's undamaged. Well, of course, all those posts disappear. All those comments disappear. Anybody who questions this narrative, your comment is gone. Right? It's just deleted. No one responds. No one's even concerned with knowing the truth. Right? If I made a post like this, and let's say I believe someone and they lost everything and blah, 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 and I was donating a car or truck or a camper or whatever, and I kept getting multiple comments of someone being like, this is a scam. This isn't, I would at least message them and be like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't? Are you sure this happened? Could you have any proof? I would just ask the question, you know what I mean? Not here. Everything gets deleted. Unless you're volunteering to fucking give him money or blood plasma, it's deleted. It's kind of weird. So that happened. Andy's got this registry. And I'm calling local RV servicing companies. They're going to pay to get it serviced. A flood survivor that we are giving Kenneth Woody, a flood survivor, and check out of the air and heat. You may need some Freon for sitting so long. Hell, my fucking air conditioner doesn't work. Assholes. Here's some of the donations that everybody's been buying for him and sending from Walmart. So they're packing the fucking camper full of shit for him. An undamaged camper. The water never reached his camper. I can show you the water line. Like, I'm not saying like it didn't flood his camper. I'm saying The water never touched his tires. The water never touched the gravel in his spots. The water never got, not that like, oh, well, it was underneath it and, you know, it may have splashed on it, but it didn't flood the living area. It never touched the ground where he parks his camper. It never went that far. In fact, right beside his camper is where I drug all of my shit to out of the fucking water. I was swimming out, getting shit that I was seeing floating away that was mine, and bringing it back and putting it by his camper. My fridge, like we had like an outdoor fridge because our fridge is really small in the camper. So we had like an outdoor fridge like on our little porch thing that we just kept drinks in because drinks take up a lot of space in a fridge. Our fridge is still beside his camper after I swam out into the fucking river and drug it back by the extension cord because there was no water there. It's still there. Everything inside of it, completely fine. That's the reason that he was asked to move from the cabin that was opened for a few days, right, wherever. It was basically like she opened all the cabins to survive the high water because we didn't know how high it was going to be. And then over the next few days, everybody was kind of in shock and had trauma or whatever from like fear. So she left him over for the next few days. After a week and a half of him staying there, she was like, hey, you need to move back to your camper when you can. We're getting ready for winter. We don't have it. And that's when he flipped out. Here it is. I'm getting 2 or 3 strangers who are bashing hate speech repeatedly on our posts about the camper we're giving to Kenneth that Kenneth is supposedly not deserving of helping. It does upset me for a moment knowing he is worthy. Listen, we have done so many big charity projects in the past, and there's always someone who doesn't agree. There's no need for it. Just let God do his work. So when my husband and I decided to give Fifth Ward County to any flood victim, I made a post to find someone. Within minutes, I had almost 20 people refer to Kenneth. By the way, it was 14 earlier. People I know personally and trust 100%. We could easily sell this camper for $5,000. I doubt it. But we wanted to give it to someone in a disaster. Kenneth is a senior citizen. He worked 25 years in a grocery store, part of those years as a manager. He's disabled now on Social Security. He was in the flood. He has no home to go to because of the flood. That's a lie, right? He was present for a flood that didn't affect him or his home. He saw it. I'll give him that. Regardless of his situation played out, he has his constant companion Scooter, his little dog. Okay? This will be their forever home. We are doing this from our heart and soul, 100% believing Kenneth and all the people backing him up. Not one person is without flaws, nor is perfect. Everyone on this earth has been talked bad about one way or another. Yeah, it's not just like, hey, he's got these flaws and he drinks. He's lying about everything that happened. Right? The camper's still there. He still has a banknote on it and made a post mad at the credit union because they wouldn't just pay off his camper for him because he's a flood survivor. He's mad at the credit union because they just won't forgive his loan and pay it off. He doesn't have a claim through FEMA or anywhere else because his shit wasn't damaged, right? The people on here are like, yeah, FEMA will never help him. We're going to have to do it. Why would FEMA help him? Because he saw a flood? No one gives a fuck, Patty. Eat a bag of dicks. Because he saw a flood. Update on repairs. Fifth Wheel Camper for Woody. Please keep up with my posts or send help servicing it. Justin Sarnes is coming today. Start the repairs to 2 small floor areas. I called RV nurse here local about checking the camper over, servicing, and make sure the heat and air, hookups, etc. are in working order or need servicing. I'm sure it will need Freon at the very least, despite the naysayers saying the RV service repair company would not help. Something told me to call RV nurse here in Kingsport. When I Googled and looked through The choices, I talked to one of the owners. He was actually aware of this project. He was very kind and truly wants to help. They are also helping flood victims campers, so they are truly good people. He was so kind. He's going to look through my pictures on here. They're discussing the servicing of the camper with the other owner, see how much they can help us. They are coming tomorrow, Wednesday, to look at it, and they will have to tow it to their place on Saturday, so they and they would so they can do an in-depth checking out of everything. They will let me know how much they can help. They truly want to help this good cause. Here's the deal. It needs some parts replaced. It may need to pay for them. We may need to pay for them, so it may be cost in this RV. Nurse owners are going to do everything they can to help. We may need the community and friends. Again, we need your money to friends to call in and pay on the phone once they figure out everything. I truly need everyone to keep watching my posts because we need help paying them. But again, we are going to do everything they can to help. When they get everything figured out, I'll post again. Jeffrey Kisser, are you available this Saturday morning to haul the camper to the lot in Kingsport? I'm 100% sure it's Saturday but next, but I will let you know. Thanks, everyone. I'll post again. I know the details. Be watching. We need to make sure the camper is fully functional, like the hookups, air, and they will tell me if it just needs one battery or two. If two, we already have someone donating them. We also have 2 new propane tanks are being donated as well. Please, his propane tanks are there. The least he could do is go get his propane tanks. Right? I don't care if you don't like me because I don't like Trump. I don't fucking leave. I don't care. I haven't liked Trump and been very open about that for fucking months and months and months and months. If you're just figuring it out, you're fucking retarded. But the least he could do is go pick up his propane tanks, right? I can't believe, like, I would feel so bad knowing that I have an almost brand new camper that my son-in-law co-signed for because I couldn't get a loan for it, right? And I'm sitting on here lying and tell people that it was washed away in the flood. Yeah. Lisa. So I don't know if he's received it yet, but he's got a notice to vacate, basically. A notice to vacate with a deadline, whatever was the legal requirement or whatever has been mailed to him. Anyways, this isn't the only grift that's going on in our own campground. So let me tell you about this one. So again, my camper was the only camper that was occupied that was damaged. Now, the other occupied places that were damaged was we had a whole apartment wash away, gone, and she wasn't there to, like, empty it or whatever, right? She was just kind of screwed. Some friends of hers at the campground went in and got sentimental things for her, but that's all they could get. It was bad. And when they were in there, they could, like, hear it lapping on the floorboard. Like, it was already going already. So they got what they could. Lost everything. There was an empty camper that was there, right? And then there was and my camper is the only occupied camper that was literally floating, right? Some people got, like, water up to, like, their wheels or whatever, but mine was the only one that's, like, floating. It's shit underneath it. Everything I own underneath. The whole under storage was full of water. It just barely got up to the door, but thank God it didn't make it in the door. But it was enough to, like, move the fucking camper, right? Oh, I'm all the way up in Tennessee. We got, like, all the rainwater and a river flood. But anyways, so someone starts a GoFundMe. They name this GoFundMe Donate to Helene, Restore Hope for Nolichucky Gorge community residents. Okay, and then they use pictures, like, around the campground and stuff. Like, a lot of people thought that this was going to, like, the campground. And if you read their description of it, it's like for the people in that community. Okay? the people in that Nolichucky Gorge campground community. Now, I'm a member of that community, right? I work there. My camper was the only occupied camper that was damaged. We had a person who lost their whole fucking apartment, right? Everybody else there was undamaged completely. So this GoFundMe raises over $12,000. $12,000, okay? And it's supposed to be dispensed by who needed it the most, who had damage, okay? And it raises $12,000. Now, my camper was damaged, right? We lost everything underneath. The understorage is gone. We'll probably have fucking mold and may lose the whole fucking thing if the mold's bad. I can't fucking put kids in a camper full of mold. The other person, Jasmine, she lost her whole apartment. The person who organized this didn't lose anything at the campground, but claimed that they lost their storage unit. Okay? Claimed that they lost their storage unit full of stuff. That's some damage. But everybody else at the campground didn't lose anything. Didn't lose anything at all. At all. So imagine my surprise when this GoFundMe raises $12,000 for people of this community that had damages, and I receive like $130. I received like $130. So I started talking to other people in the community that didn't lose anything. A guy came up to me today. He didn't lose anything. He even said, I called my insurance company. I was going to try to make a claim, blah, blah, blah. But I called him back and said there's no damage. Right? And he got $400 fucking dollars. He didn't lose a car. He didn't lose a truck. His camper never was touched by water. The biggest thing for him was he was without power for a few days like everybody else was. And he didn't have access to the road like everybody else was. But water never touched his camper, just like Kenneth's. He received $400. He didn't ask for it. He didn't tell her I need $400. She just divvies it up by how friendly she is with you. After using the campground in the community to raise money, I'm living in the only camper that got damaged on property, and I got $130. Other people got $600 and $700. The person who lost their entire apartment with everything in it, got $1,300. The organizer made off with apparently $10,000. And her claim is that she lost some stuff in storage. How the fuck is she doing this with a fucking straight face? Claiming that she's distributing it by the people who need it, and she's making $10K off the deal with no damage to her camper. It's still fucking sitting there on the hill above mine. It's like two spots above mine. Do not, I repeat, do not donate to this shit. Ever. To this shit. It's bullshit. It just isn't there. We'll read it. Fuck. Isn't there a way to do, see older updates. So here's how it starts. Oh, I actually need to read the first part, I guess. Then I'll do the updates. Our little campground community has thrived for many years, nestled between the Nolichucky River and the Appalachia Trail. We may not have the sprawling homes and busy streets of city life, but while we lack in size, we more than make up for in the warmth of our close-knit community. We greet each. By the way, the campground owner who lost more than all of us received $0. We greet each other daily, embracing an outdoor lifestyle that fosters camaraderie and shared adventures. Whether it's a community potluck, a wave on the way to work, or a chat about the latest hiking trails, our bonds run deep. As a community of hikers and river enthusiasts, we've always lent a helping hand to our neighbors in need. From organizing events to feed hungry hikers along the Appalachian Trail to rescuing stray dogs and offering rides to hikers and boaters in need, we've stood together through the thick and thin. However, our lives and everything we had in our community changed on September 27th. A catastrophic storm unleashed unprecedented flooding, pushing the Nolichucky River to devastating heights. In the face of destruction, we fought to save our homes and belongings, but the river claimed so much. Our shelters, our transportation, and even our cherished possessions are still there. Are still fucking there. Many of us watched helplessly as our neighbors' homes floated away. Yeah, your neighbors, not yours. In the aftermath of the storm, we came together, united in determination to rebuild. With incredible support from the Unicoi community, we have stood by each other, ready to lend a hand as we navigate this challenging journey. When my family reached out to ask how they could help, my heart turned to my friends and neighbors here in Nolichucky. I'm setting up this fundraiser to support our community as we work to recover. Your generous donations will help replace lost items, cover uninsured damages, and assist us in getting back on our feet. Together, we hope to return to the beloved Nolichucky Jones Branch Road in Irwin, Tennessee, a place we hold dear. Thank you for your support. But she's just made all the money. Leave. I don't give a fuck what you say. Just fucking leave. God damn. How long can you be a dumb bitch over and 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 over in the comments? Leave. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so updates. Again, I received $130 some, $150 some, whatever. I don't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. Right. Here we go. Corey lived in the gorge, helped to get some four-wheelers in by removing 2 foot of mud and creating a narrow pathway. When I asked if he would give it a try, he said the tractor tires are bald, but let's give it a try. Of course, he had the supervision of his white dog, Kitty. The walkout is a mile of flood debris. After a few loads, it gets tiresome. I want to thank all those offered to help when they saw people walking down the destroyed road with what little belongings the community had left. By the way, all their belongings are still there. Yesterday, I took a small step to make a big difference. I started giving out $200 to those in need, and I can't put into words how much it touched my heart. In a world where so many... By the way, when this person was asked, well, how are you dividing up the money? She responded, well, it was mostly my family who donated. So I would say the majority of it would probably go to me and my husband. Bullshit. That's not how a GoFundMe works, right? If your family wanted to donate, tell them to send it to you. But don't say this is going to the people who had damaged shit, that had shit damaged here, and donate here and I'm going to disperse it to them, and then be like, oh, well, it's my friends and family who donated, so we'll keep it. In a world where so many people feel like they've lost everything, a little help can bring hope and comfort in ways we often forget. What surprised me most was how people accepted the cash without gratitude, but without the feeling they were taking away from anyone else, especially in the wake of the disaster. That's the beauty of platforms like GoFundMe. It allows generosity to flow without any sense of guilt or hesitation. As I went out, seeing the community come together with open hearts was truly overwhelming. The smiles I saw, the warm hugs I received, it all melted my heart. The local religious communities have enveloped this small town in a bubble of love, coming out to help anyone and everyone, no matter where they are. It doesn't matter how far or how tough the journey is. If they don't have four-wheelers, they walk. If they don't have boxes or containers, they carry what they can in trash bags. It's truly a case of people using whatever they have in whatever way they can just to help. What I witnessed yesterday was very definition of unity, kindness in action. There's something incredibly powerful about a community coming together, with each person doing what they can to ease the burdens of others. From the smallest gestures to the biggest acts of service, every contribution mattered. One of the moments that truly stood out as we see the high school students ready to help, eager to unload supplies for their neighbors. It was a reminder that compassion knows no age, and the heart of community lies in the willingness to help its people lift each other up. I'm so grateful to be a part of this, to give, to share, and to make 10 grand. And to make 10 grand. I'll read what the fuck I want. After spending 8 days volunteering, I decided to take a break and join some friends for a hike through the gorge to see how the river had changed with the recent weather. Living in a boating and hiking community, we were all curious to see if the impact on the river. After so many days of helping people, we needed a chance to recharge. We hiked along the railroad, passing through areas known as Maggie's Rock. Maggie's Rock is downstream where the tracks used to be. The scene before us looked almost like a roller coaster, blah, blah, blah. I'd heard that about 7 miles of the railroad had been washed away, but after our hike, I'd say that number could be an understatement. The reconstruction effort has already begun, with the crews clearing debris from the bridges and preparing to rebuild. While no one knows how long this project will take. I'm sure they'll surprise with their progress. On our way back, we encountered a young black bear, blah, 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 whatever. Then this post happened after the whole, the next post is after the whole Ken Woody escape. So listen for passive-aggressive hints after that. I've gathered some before and after pictures, both of my own and my friends at Facebook, and it's truly striking how our lives have changed since Hurricane Helene. There used to be...
Just resubscribed for
Oh,
5
thank you.
months. Corn, rock on gesture.
Then shut the fuck up about it. Jesus Christ. I've donated. I can't believe Will doesn't like Trump. No one cares. Literally no one cares. I've asked you to stop again and 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 again. We're done. So listen for the passive-aggressive shit here. There used to be the joyful sounds of kids playing, and now the campground has been shut off with locks, keeping most people out. This isn't true. How do you lock a public road? I think it's because of looters and sightseers, but it's heartbreaking nonetheless. I hope everyone who spent time at the campground can still hold on to the good memories we shared there, even with all the devastation. I've noticed tensions running high. This is after Kenneth made his big post about he was going to have to kill me because whatever. I've noticed tensions running high, and understandably so. Such tremendous losses can make people act out of character. My hope is by giving everyone who camped there something special to warm their hearts, if only a little, and remind them of the good times. Bitch, you raised $12,000, and you gave me 130 some. You gave the person who lost everything $1,500. All you've done is made money. What do you mean devastating? All you've done is make money. And your camper's untouched. Your car's untouched. Well, I opened the road so you could drive your fucking car out. The hardest part is now dealing with insurance and trying to recover what's been lost. Nothing. You haven't lost anything. But through it all, I've seen true spirit of this community shine, especially on social media. People have been posting about things that wash in their yards from the floods, helping each other through local lost and found pages. It's a reminder that even in times of devastation, there are honest, caring people here in Tennessee. Imagine being so brazen to raise all this money, right? And say that you're going to help the people at the campground and then use it to fucking help yourself. Mariah shared this, and I'm like, hell no, take it down. Do not share this. Her sister donated to it after Mariah shared it. It's a fucking, at best, it's a goddamn scam, right? It's a lie. Who are you helping? Yourself. People that didn't even have damage. Again, a guy came to me on his own and said, I heard what you were sent from the GoFundMe, and it pisses me off. They sent me almost $400, and I didn't have any damage at all. So what she's done is she's raised this money. She's going to take the bulk of it for herself, and then she gives it out on how good a friend you are to her. It doesn't matter what damage you had. It doesn't matter if you fucking lost anything. It doesn't matter if you everything was safe and you didn't lose anything. It's how much she likes you, right? How close are we as friends? Because I'm making 10 grand either way. So I can give you a couple grand or I can give you $100. The grifters are coming out of the woodwork between Ken lying about everything he owns and this GoFundMe. And people have been asking her, hey, so someone that was good friends with Jasmine, who's the person, I keep saying Jasmine, but she lost her whole apartment, messaged her and was like, hey, I shared this to all my followers because Jasmine lived there and lost everything. And I donated and I got all of them to donate. I'd like to know how the money's distributed. Imagine there was one person that lost their entire home, went floating in the river with everything in it. And you donate to a charity, a GoFundMe that's supposed to be about that. And then you find out that they got less than 1/10 of the money. while the organizer made several $1,000s. And they keep talking about people trapped and no supplies. Bitch, I brought everything into that fucking campground. Like, I didn't come on here to brag or talk about me. But like I said, I've made over 200 fucking trips in there. On foot, hiked in, carried fuel. And I'm the only person with a damaged camper. I don't understand how you make this right in your fucking head. But I do think if I take some time to knock your fucking teeth out, I'll feel better about it. Either way, shit's wild, dude. I don't know. This disaster has brought fucking, and then like people are bitching about like how you have to certify and you have to show stuff. And you have to have proof for like FEMA and shit, right? People are complaining about that. But look at these people. Look at what they're already doing. $12,000 to help out the people at the campground. Gives money to her fucking friends and makes several $1,000s off of it. And says, oh, well, it was mostly my family that donated. No wonder you have to fucking show proof to get money from FEMA. No wonder you have to show proof to get stuff given to you. Kenneth doesn't have any proof. They're giving him a camper and buying him everything that he has in his other camper. Because they said it floated down the river. This woman always struck me as weird, though. She's got the woman who organized this, for a while, she was paying for things out of a nonprofit, paying for personal expenses out of a nonprofit she had set up, which was very weird. Right? That screams like scam to me, right? Like you're buying personal items, stuff that are clearly not nonprofit or business expenses out of a nonprofit account. That seems wild. Oh, well, we dissolved it. Well, why is there still fucking money you're spending out of the bank account for it? Whatever. Anyways, they're coming out of the woodworks. Don't donate. Listen, if you want to donate to me, you guys have my links. You guys know how to do it. Go to coldbeer.fund. Don't let anybody tell you they got a GoFundMe that has anything to do with me. Fuck these motherfuckers. Right? They're just getting wealthy off of it. At least when I had mine, I shared with you guys where every fucking dime went. Right? I had a GoFundMe. I can't say that I haven't. Right? I had a GoFundMe, and you guys knew where every fucking dime went onto that GoFundMe. I don't know. I can't believe these people. I guess I'm gonna help people at the campground. Does it helps her friends who have no damage at the campground? I honestly think the only reason that we got $100 and some or whatever the fuck she sent was because she knew if she didn't send anything, the backlash would be fucking pretty intense. Right? She had to give me something because our camper was fucking the only one that was damaged. But she gives other people 400, or there was another couple that got 600. They had no damage. Well, I take that back. They had a car that got flood damaged, but insurance paid that off like within a couple days. Paid off the whole note, and they went and bought a new car. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Merbird gifted Night Stalker a subscription. Merbird gifted a tier 1 sub to MSZ Night Stalker. They have given 33 gift subs in the channel.
She didn't get, so the owner, thank you for the gift sub. The owner probably lost more than all of us, right? She lost all the cabins, and even the apartment that was lost was hers. She rented it out. That was the income that ran all this and paid her bills and her husband's medical bills and stuff. She didn't get a dime. The owner of the campground didn't get a dime. And to use the campground and pictures of the campground and shit like that, it's pretty fucking wild. And then not send a fucking dime to her. And the whole reason that she is at odds with the campground owner is because this woman's fixing to leave for Colombia. She's going on a trip to Colombia for like 6 months or some shit. and she wanted to keep her camper there for super cheap. Like, she didn't want to pay rent and keep her camper there. And the owner was like, "No, well, you got to pay rent if you're going to keep a camper here." And she's like, "Well, can you save my spot for me?" And the camper's like, "Well, no. I mean, like, if somebody comes and rents the spot, I mean, it might be there when you come back. You never know." But, like, that's the whole reason that she's mad at the campground owner. And Kenneth is mad at the campground owner because he wanted a free cabin all year. He fucking thought that because he saw a flood, that the owner of the campground was going to let him live in a cabin for free all fucking winter. Because he'd rather have a cabin than his undamaged camper. And to be completely fair, Lisa is like a super nice person. Had his camper or if our camper was unlivable, I guarantee you, Lisa would be like, "Well, we have a cabin, and I know you can't afford rent right now, so you could probably stay there and just work around here or whatever," right? Like, Lisa's super fair, super generous. But she's not dumb, right? She's not going to let you just live in a cabin with your camper undamaged just because. Right, you have a camper just down the hill. Just go to it. I was told it was unlivable by EMS. Who the fuck? What? But I guarantee you, had someone's camper been washed away and they didn't have a place to go, of course she would open up a cabin for them. She's done crazier deals for people that were struggling or trying to get by, that were like friends of hers or friends of the campground or lived there or whatever. I don't know. Shit's wild. Wilds. These people are something else. I wonder if she does have some pictures though. See what they are. An expansive railroad track with nothing underneath it, it looks like. Some railroad tracks just going into the river. This is up at the gorge, so this is upstream from us. There's a big rocky area of the gorge, and it basically goes all the way up to the state line, like that. Some buckets. Here's one of I was talking about this the other day. The river just randomly had these giant waves in it. So my big head's in the way, but see this little red corner? Hold on. See this red corner roof? This is on the hill looking down from the owner's house. Okay? This is her garden right here. And like her garden, the chicken coop would be just off screen. There's nothing there in the river. There's nothing there. It's just a flat river that was so shallow you could walk across it. And somehow it had like 40 and 50-foot waves in it. I have no idea. I guess what happened was like the pressure and it tumbling and rocks and trees and shit. But it had these giant fucking swells in it that looked like they just stayed in one spot, right? And it was just like a tumble, like a wash machine going or a dryer going around. But it stayed in one spot and it dug the river out. This is the same thing that happened to our road where it like ate that big hole in the road. Well, what's happening is, here, we'll do this before we quit. I still got to ride the one wheel in tonight. What happened with our road, let me pull over paint quickly. So our driveway now is basically like, let's see, can we draw this? All right, so this, let's draw it at an angle. So this is like our gravel driveway right here, okay? And this is facing the river. So the river would be like this way normally, like without the storms, probably like 40 feet. Okay? And then there's a slope, right? This hill comes up to the edge of our parking and driveway, right? This is all a hill, and then it gets flat after that. That goes down to the river. So the river came up. Obviously, the water came up this way. It hit this hill, and then after it went over the hill, it came into our road and just tumbled. And it did that all along the hill and just tumbled. So what happened was it basically dug all of this road out in the center, probably like 4 to 6 foot deep all the way up. And the reason I know it was caused by this bank here was because in one spot there is a tree right on the hill, a big tree that wasn't torn down, that didn't leave, that's still there. So there's a big tree here, and the road right there is completely fine, right? There's no damage on the road right across from the tree. There's nothing there. But the road here is all fucked up. It's fucked up here, and it's fucked up here. And it's dug these big-ass trenches out, but there's no damage exactly parallel to that tree. I just got banned from Facebook. Sounds about right. It was wild. So the water came in. Hit this bank, went up, and then it shot over the bank and just kind of tumbled down. Like the pressure when you spray a water hose onto the ground and it like digs up the soil, it was like that, but gigantic. And it dug all this up, except where that tree just broke, like the water still came in, right, for the tree, but the tree broke it up and dispersed it both ways. So this right here was undamaged. Even though it was underwater the same, even though it looked the same when everything was covered with water, this area right here was just undamaged. It's pretty wild. But it's like a sandblaster or something. It dug down literally 4, 6, 8 feet in some places and just dug the road's just gone. It's just a big ass trench on that side, on the entire length of the road. And the only thing that's the same there from start to finish is that little hill that made it do it. Basically, you drove around the road and you parked right there and then walked down the hill, and then it flattened out, and that was where the camp spots were. So there you go. No, I don't think that she's talking about me banning her. I think she went and commented for somebody else. But yeah, it was wild. It destroyed a bunch of shit. Oh, well, if she's talking about me banning her, yeah, you got on my fucking nerves. I banned you. I'll ban you here too. I don't care. It destroyed that ship. That picture is wild too. I don't know. These swells were just insane. I don't know. This right here with the water's edge up at the very top. This is probably 70 feet from the riverbank. Like right here where these tomato plants and shit. It's a fucking long ways. The riverbank would typically be down here, like where my cursor is. That's insane. That's insane. Will they rebuild? I don't know. So the campground owner's older, right? She's only doing this to preserve it for her nephew, who is her brother's son, who's 8 or 6 or something. She wants him to be 18 and he can decide it. But she's older. She's got a husband with dementia. She's got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if she wants to start over. She's talked about maybe doing tent camping only. She's talked about a bunch of things. Tent camping only. Maybe just letting the long-term RV people stay there, and then day use only, but no camping. Like you come out and use the river and swim and have fun or whatever, but no camping. So I don't know what she's gonna do. Who knows? Who knows? That's where we're at right now. Either way, we got some power back on. We don't have internet yet. We do have power back on. It's kind of spotty, so we still got the generator out. We always have water because we're on a well. As long as we got power or the generator, we got water. No internet yet, but we have that Starlink that someone donated, so that's what we're using. I was able to rig up our router from fiber internet to use it to get internet closer to our home, so the boys have better access to internet. But hell, I don't even have time to fucking use it. I'm out chainsawing or running, or I took off a bunch of trash today because we haven't been able to take our trash off to the dump because we don't have a fucking road, right? I took trash off and cleaned up some trees that were basically, when we first cleared the road, we were just concerned about getting a path. So it was pretty narrow in some spots where we cut trees, so we cut it back even further. What else? I got the internet working. Oh, I'm trying to jack up and save this area called the gallery, because that was like the former owner, which is the current owner's brother. That was like his place that he worked out of. I'm trying to save at least the roof on it and maybe turn it into like a gazebo. We found 4 more water leaks. There's just a lot of work to do. That guy that busted his fucking head on the tractor, he's back. Man, he looks rough. God damn it, blacked both his eyes. He looks rough. But he's back. He's alive. He pulled through. He's staying there. So I guess that's it for me tonight, guys. If you want to support me and the show, you can do it at coldbeer.fund. Don't donate to a GoFundMe. Don't do any of that shit. There's so many fucking grifters out there, dude, just trying to get free shit with undamaged items. Like, I would love to know that my camper didn't get fucking touched by water and not have to worry about mold and what's going to happen and if the fucking electrical system's going to hold up or if it's going to fucking burn down in a few months. But their shit is newer than mine. Like, his shit is probably like a 2022 or newer, his camper. Not good enough. He needs another camper. Now he needs a 5th wheel. Then he needs a cabin. Then he's got to hoard supplies. And then this other bitch, like, she can afford to take 6 months to go to Colombia, but she's using GoFundMe to scam a few $1,000s and not pay out people with actual damages. The fuck is going on? Anyways, you can go to coldbeer.fund if you want to support me or Mariah or the kids. I got a busy week coming up. We got all the work at the campground. Plus, I got to get the kids' Halloween costumes ready for Boo at the zoo. Mariah's going to try to take them to the Knoxville Zoo for like a Halloween thing this weekend. So I got to get their costumes. You can look for me on TikTok, I guess. That's probably the easiest platform to upload to in a hurry. That's why I do it from my phone. Thank you for sending something on PayPal. I appreciate it. There is also... shout out to Black Crow. I was on here the other day, and I was just looking through it, and I was like, oh, Black Crow left Patreon. I was like, damn, that's fine. I haven't done a Patreon show in a long time, and I haven't seen him in comments that often, you know. I see him watching replays and leaving comments sometimes. I was like, damn. But then he said that it was because his computer fucked up or something, and he lost all his accounts. So he canceled his account and then signed up for the God tier on Patreon, which is like $100 a month. So shout out to him. Thank you for that. He even sent me a message saying he was sorry, but he signed back up for the God tier membership on Patreon. I will get back to Patreon content just as soon as I can. Even if it's short videos or something, I'll put something on Patreon. I got to. I can't. Patreon is a big portion of my income. So I got to get back to making Patreon stuff. I've been in Asheville, North Carolina for 3 weeks, 4 more to go. Oh, no. Making some money, though, I hope, right? Helping out with storm damage, I guess, trees and shit. Either way, it is, thank you guys for all the support and donations so far. I'm trying to come in here and make content, not only because it helps me, like I like to come on here and bitch and complain or whatever, but also I want to keep my show going. At the Biltmore, damn, I'd say that is some money. Biltmore Estates. If you don't know what Biltmore Estates is, look it up, chat. It's pretty nice. We used to go there for field trips when we were in elementary school. It's over in Nashville. But if you want to support the show, that's how you do it. If you want to support us, make sure you come back and watch. I'll try to get some content on Patreon for you guys, and I'm going to try to come in here more often. I know it's usually 3 or 4 day gap before I can get in here, but I'd like to get back to where I can at least stream a few times a week. But there's just so much to do. Literally, by the time I finish at work, it's already dark. and then I have to ride my one wheel in and out, which isn't the easiest thing to do in the fucking dark. I have like a headlamp, and I'm usually carrying shit. So it's hard to get in and stream in the evening, and I can't do it in the day because I got to use daylight hours to work on shit. So either way, we'll see what we can do. Me and Mariah both got to sign up for unemployment. Neither one of us have been approved. I don't know if we're going to get approved or not, but we're trying that because we don't have a job now. We did get some of the FEMA assistance, but there's a bunch of other shit that I got to turn in paperwork for, like our cars are trapped. We don't have cars right now. We have running car. They asked me how many running vehicles I have, and we have 3. And then, I filed for assistance with a vehicle, right? Financial assistance to have a vehicle. And they're like, if you have 3 vehicles, but you know what I'm saying? Like, thank you. Hi, Will and family. I know it's not much, but hope this helps. Thank you very much for the donation. 26 pegs. But they're like, well, if you have 3 running vehicles, why are you asking for vehicle assistance? They're fucking trapped. There's no road. Well, you want me to drive them around in circles? Like, our kids still have appointments in schools and doctors and shit. Like, come on, get the fuck out of here. I already told you that. But there's no box to check for like, yes, we have running vehicles, but no, we can't access them. So I have to call and sit on the phone for hours and wait for somebody to answer and try to explain this shit. So either way, we're trying. We're trying. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for coming out. I'll try to be back within a couple days, hopefully, and we'll go from there. Check out my TikTok if you want to keep up more quickly, I guess. And we'll hop off here. Thank you guys for joining us. Is the one wheel charged? I didn't charge it when I came here. It should be charged. It's got pretty good range. I can go in a few times. I've been charging it at the camper. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you about the next one. Thank you for joining us. Love you. See you. Bye. Shout out to Mariah. Her new teeth. They look good. I don't know. You guys have seen pictures probably. Yeah, teeth look good.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call
Have a good night, guys.
on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer?
Now Mariah wants you to see her teeth, I guess.
All these false fucking prophets who profit.
There's Mariah's new teeth after she's swollen, but there's her new teeth. They don't feel any different on my balls. So that's a shout out to the doctor for that. I mean, that's a miracle, basically. Modern medicine, am I right, guys?
Clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-6.
I'm only going to listen as people say retarded shit. Like, I can't believe you don't like Trump while I'm trying to talk about something else so many times.
He tapped me on the shoulder and said,
If you've been around here that long, you think you would have it figured out. Like,
What?
I can't believe you don't like Trump. I donate to you. Who gives a fuck?
Stop.
Did you donate to me because you thought I was going to vote for Trump? Because that's illegal, buying votes.
Oh my God. Damn it.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
If you don't like that I don't like Trump, leave. Like,
You know that stage is set.
people with all kinds of political opinions donate to me. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
I think I started some shit.
I didn't make you sign a contract that says you're only donating because I support Trump.
You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
Round 3. Down goes Nino.
I'm a man with nothing left to lose.
Now things are getting rocking.
Piss me off, I dare you.
It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first, ninth inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters.
Somebody said, you use the hashtag. I didn't even realize I was using this hashtag. I just use the same hashtags over and over again. Someone's like, you use the hashtag Trump for prison, and you're using Starlink that Elon Musk gave to you. I can't believe you.
Will Bird, motherfuckers out here busting the grifts.
What?
Here we go, I think I started
Elon Musk didn't give me Starlink. A guy down the road did. I don't know. And what does that have to do with not liking Trump?
buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go.
That's TikTok for you.
Piss 'em off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet.
You don't have those guts.
That's right.
Pussy. You're a pussy where an aviator.
I used to think about going postal, like snapping and losing my fucking mind on everybody, going out in a blaze of glory and be like, it'd probably be bad. Now I'm like, it's coming one day. Why not today?